Today I'm going to be talking about the view from above. The view from above is one of Stoicism's most valuable, powerful exercises. Stoicism, like many other life philosophies, is a matter of both theory and practice. And within practice, there's a collection of trainings, and these trainings are the sorts of things one does to improve one's capabilities, whether it's on the rational side, the social side. And to say that in the broadest sense, they're the sorts of things one does to improve oneself, but to put it that way is almost a little bit terse. So these exercises are valuable in and of themselves, and the view from above exercise is a good example of that. So the main idea behind the view from above is simple. It's just a matter of enlarging one's perspective. It's about understanding and visualizing one's place in the larger scheme of things. Typically, when we go throughout our day, we have a narrow vantage point in which we experience the world. Narrow both in the temporal sense, we're not thinking that far ahead, but also narrow in the spatial sense, of course. We're only aware of our immediate surroundings and spend little time thinking about what others are doing miles away from us, even if they happen to be in the same city. This narrow perspective is, of course, useful. It's what enables us to navigate the world, make good decisions in the present. Since the present is what we have most power over, it makes sense that evolution would engineer our minds to focus very heavily on that aspect of our lives. But the world contains much more than what is just immediately present. There's more than one perspective on the world, and holding too tightly onto a single one is a mistake. One can think of young children throwing a tantrum when anything goes wrong. In part, that's just because all they are aware of is the setback that they are experiencing in that very moment. They're not able to situate whatever is bothering them in the larger scheme of things. All they want is another piece of chocolate, another hour of TV, or to never share their toys. In a way, we experience setbacks in the exact same manner. Whenever anything bad happens, we face an obstacle, it's easy to let that obstruct our vision, our picture of the world. If we truly saw how our lives fit into the universe with its uncountable dimensions, then we would be able to weather any storm. The view from above is about approximating this larger perspective. It's about pausing and expanding our sense of time, space, and experience in order to get our bearings. When you feel stressed or anxious, take this view and you may find it calming. If you are confused or facing a difficult decision, stepping back and asking, what is my role in the large scheme of things, may open up a path, have an option you may not have considered. The term, the view from above, comes from the French philosopher Pierre Hadot. In his book, Philosophy as a Way of Life, Pierre Hadot has a whole chapter on this spiritual exercise. It's useful to take a look at it and go through examples that he gives of this vantage point, of this view. He cites a number of poetic works. In particular, he cites the German poet Goethe. True poetry can be recognized by the fact that, like a secular gospel, through the inner cheerfulness and outward pleasure it procures us, it can free us from the mundane burdens which weigh upon us. Like a hot air balloon, it lifts us up into higher regions, along with the ballast that clings to us and lets us see, from a bird's eye view, the mad labyrinths of the world spread out before us. Of course, he also cites the Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius from Book 7 of the Meditations. Watch and see the courses of the stars as if you were running alongside them, and continually dwell in your mind upon the changes of the elements into one another. For these imaginations wash away the foulness of life on earth. When you are reasoning about mankind, look upon earthly things below, as if from some vantage point above them. With Stoa, we break up the view from above into 3 parts. There are different ways in which one can enlarge one's perspective. The first is in space. We occupy a very small location in space, and what's immediately obvious to us is merely a room or some other area. We can visualize a much larger space, our city, and then go even bigger still, from city to nation, from nation to earth, and from earth to above. When one takes that much larger perspective, what is trivial falls away and what is important should remain. We can also expand our perspective by lengthening the amount of time we have under consideration. Our lives take up a mere sliver of time. Indeed, even human civilization itself takes up a mere sliver of time. Here's a line from Marcus Aurelius. In a little while, you have forgotten everything. In a little while, everything will have forgotten you. Finally, to take the view from above, one can also consider the huge range of experience. You are one animal among trillions. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, there are countless others experiencing joy, gratitude, defeat, success, victory. We're just one shade in the whole human experience. Now, when one's able to get to the point where one is seeing one's life from above, it's important to ask, what is my role in all this? Where do I fit in? Don't overcomplicate answers to this query. There are several roles that are easily named. Be a good friend, a good partner, a good child, a good parent, a good employee, a good boss. Those are a few of the roles many of us have. It's true that we play a tiny part in the whole scheme of things, but it's important to play each part well. We're each a part of the whole, and together we can make the whole excellent. I'm reminded of the line from David Mitchell's Cloudless. My life amounts to no more than one drop in a limitless ocean. Yet, what is any ocean but a multitude of drops? Thanks for listening. Subscribe and be sure to ask any questions or leave any comments below.